Whoa, what a beautiful day. What a beautiful parking lot. I love the fresh air right here.
As Yu Ho Yang breathes, oxygen gets into the blood via the process of respiration that occurs during the gas exchange process. As deoxygenated carbon dioxide-filled blood enters the lungs, the capillaries pass by the many alveoli. During this time, the fusion between the membranes occurs. CO2 is extracted and oxygen enters, attaching onto passing red blood cells. When the blood leaves the lungs, they are now oxygen-rich and ready to distribute wherever oxygen is needed.
Hey, you're not supposed to be breathing here.
You a snitch!
What did you say? Hey, don't do that.
As Yu Ho runs, his balance is supported by his cerebellum, which is powered by oxygen traveling to its arteries. The cerebellum requires a constant supply of blood and receives it from the vertebral arteries and the basilar arteries. They originate from the subclavian arteries of the aorta as they travel up the spinal cord and spread out into the brain. They provide vascularization for not just the cerebellum, but other parts of the brain as well. Some specific arteries that are exclusive to the cerebellum are the superior cerebellar artery, the anterior and inferior cerebellar artery, and the posterior and inferior cerebellar artery. As Yu Ho attempts his escape, his heart pumps blood, having it to be refilled with oxygen distributed to the areas where oxygen is needed most. To restore oxygen-deficient blood, the oxygen-deficient blood gets carried from all of the veins towards the right atrium through two large veins, the superior vena cava and the inferior vena cava. The tricuspid valve opens, allowing blood to flow from the right atrium to the right ventricle. The right ventricle fills up, and it squeezes, closing the tricuspid valve, and it opens the pulmonary valve as blood flows from the pulmonary valve into the lungs, where it picks up oxygen. When oxygenated blood passes into the lungs, it must be redistributed for use to the rest of the body. Oxygenated blood travels from the lungs into the left atrium through large veins called pulmonary veins. The mitral valve opens up, sending oxygen down from the atrium into the left ventricle. When the left ventricle is full, it squeezes, closing the mitral valve and opening the aortic valve. The heart sends the blood from the aortic valve to the aorta, where it will travel to the rest of the body. Yeah.
Hey, what are you doing here?
Help me, I have a heat stroke. Oh, I'm dying. Please spare me, sir. I need to use the bathroom real quick.
What are you doing here? What are you doing here? You're not supposed to go to the bathroom.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. You a big snitch. I'm gonna get you today.
You're dead! You're dead, that's your last words!
As Yuho runs, oxygen is transferred by blood to the cells that need it most. When one breathes in, oxygen enters the bronchioles of the lungs. The oxygen travels and through the thin walls of alveoli into the capillaries. Red blood cells squeeze through the capillaries in a single file line where it picks up and carries the oxygen. The red blood cells have a biconcave shape in which maximizes its surface area of carrying oxygen. These red blood cells have a thin membrane so gases can pass through. They also contain the protein hemoglobin, which attaches and binds to oxygen. When the red blood cells reaches a cell that needs oxygen, the red blood cells will release oxygen and diffuse into the cell where it is used to make energy.
My posterior auricular vein is cut off.
As Yuho Yang lays dying, we must learn why the brain requires oxygen. The brain requires an enormous amount of oxygen, using up to 20% of the body's oxygen supply. Energy in the brain is almost exclusively generated by a specific form of metabolism that requires oxygen. This metabolic process is called oxidative phosphorylation, or OXPHOS for short, and occurs exclusively in the mitochondria, a powerhouse of the cell. Without a constant supply of oxygen, the brain is in great danger and can quickly lead to coma, seizures,